Happy Friday. Good morning, Tanj here. How are you? It's Friday, the 30th of August, and coming to you live from Mornington Peninsula. Hi to you, our friends on Instagram, and hello to you, our friends on Facebook. I hope you've had a beautiful week. As you join in, g'day Kelly Smith, great to have you here. Just type in, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? Just one word. How are you feeling today? So Rapid Fire Friday is an opportunity. G'day, Brooklyn. Great to have you here, love. It's where, as a peak performance coach, so essentially I work with real estate executives, leaders and teams to help them grow themselves, their people and their business in the least amount of time. And every Friday, I just what were the key themes from our one-on-one coaching, and I just share some rapid fire tips to help you grow yourself, your business, and things that are important to you. We also have a lot of people that tune in that aren't in real estate that get some really beneficial tips. So if you're in real estate or not, this time is dedicated all for you. So just type in where you're listening from or what mood you are in right now. So I can't believe it's the 30th of August. That's actually kind of crazy. G'day, Kate Ashton. Good morning to you. Not many days left till Gay Paris. How excitement. I'm going to get straight into it today. The key theme for this week, for me, certainly as a coach, for all the clients that I've spent time with, is accountability, accountability, accountability. Typically, when someone signs up for coaching, it's one of the key themes that they want. They want to shift the subconscious beliefs that are holding them back and sabotaging their success. And they really want someone to help them be accountable and be with their action. So accountability is key, and it was a really key theme this week. And here's what I'm noticing. There are so many ways that we can hold ourselves and others accountable, and we're not really doing it as effectively as we could. We make it really complex and convoluted to ourselves. Hey, Adam, how are you, buddy? Great to have you here. Sorry, it's a bit hot. So there are 3 steps to success. If you've tuned in before, you know what these are. If you haven't tuned in before, hey, Owen, great to have you here. Please get a pen and paper and write these down. The 3 steps for success in business and life are, g'day, raise your standards, simplify your strategies, and elevate your state. And if you have particular goals that you want to achieve and you don't have strategies to fulfill on it, or you don't, you're not measuring and managing your productivity and performance, and you don't know where you're going or how you're going, you could just end up spinning. And a lot of people are spinning. You know what? They're measuring or going, and then it affects their state. So raise your standards, get clear about your why, your vision, your values, and turn your shoulds into musts. Simplify your strategies. This was a key theme for a lot of clients this week, even to the point I'm working with a couple of principals that own 2 offices. They're starting to see some real gains in their business because they're introducing this theme of accountability through one-on-one coaching times with their people. And in the one-on-one coaching times, actually having a set agenda of questions that their sales agents have to prepare for, and absolutely looking at the facts, not necessarily hanging out in the feelings. What do I mean by that? It's really simple. For yourself, or if you lead a team of people, if there's goals or KPIs or games, we either have reasons or results. We either have reasons why we're not achieving it, or we have the result. And leaders, you've got to be curious. You have to be comfortable in your people. Hey, Owen, what's getting in the way of you achieving your prospecting targets this week? And if Owen says, I don't know, then we want to take a look. And I'm using you as an example, Owen, I hope you don't mind, buddy, just because your name's right there. Does Owen have scheduled time to prospect? Does Owen have an ideal week? Does Owen have a database that he can actively call? Does he have a strategy for prospecting? Like, have we set him up for success? And if we have, and he's just not following it, then he's sabotaging his success. So it's absolutely critical that you hold yourself accountable, or you have an accountability buddy, or if you're a leader, you have strategies. Thanks, Owen. Owen's just typed in, how did you know? I don't know. I'm a sidekick. What can I say? It's really critical that you have, like evidence, procedures, or activities in place. G'day, Erin. Great to have you here, love. That will help you achieve your So, you know, for me, I'm doing F45 training, an 8-week fitness challenge. I've just completed this weekend, will be week 6. I haven't missed a beat because I'm holding myself accountable to be my word for 100% completion. This week I came close to not doing one class, but I just kept connecting to my why. So where are you not clear on your goals? Where are you not having strategies to achieve your accountabilities? Where are you being slimy with yourself and letting your excuses get in the way and you're dropping your standards? Just take a look. And as leaders, where are you not clear about what your people want? Where are you not supporting them and fulfilling their desires? Where are you not holding them accountable? And here's another theme that came up this week. We had one leader, God bless their cotton socks. I don't know where that saying came from. But you know how they were checking the prospecting activity of their people? They were reviewing the phone bill. Could you imagine being in 2019 and sitting down with a glass of wine and looking at the phone bill? They're already subscribed to one of the best CRM systems in the industry, which is AgentBox, that has a dashboard that can automatically monitor prospecting activity, listing conversion rates, all of that jazz, and they subscribe to it. And so I just very encouragingly nudged this principal to stop being archaic, start valuing their time more, and start getting maximum return on investment from the resources they're already investing in. And that's another theme from this week. What subscriptions, what tools, what resources, what strategies do you have in place in your business that you are not maximizing, that you're not using to their full potential? And how much time could that save you? Now, I know from speaking with Eddie, who's the CEO for AgentBox, I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I just appreciate the tools that they provide for people to save time. Speaking of time, when I asked Eddie, how much time does AgentBox save me as an agent each week so I can go and list and sell more? And on average at about 10 hours, if you're using it properly. So here was my principal going home and reading through the phone bill to see how many of the calls their agents were making when they're paying a subscription for AgentBox at a click of a button. If the data is entered, you can see it. Okay, do you see where I'm coming from? We're not using our resources. We're making more effort for ourselves. We're wasting time and making it hard. Great leaders, great operators have simple strategies that they do often. So yeah, I can't see who's on Facebook at the moment, so apologies. I'm still waiting for that to load. If you're there, hi, I love you. Please type in live if you're watching this live on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you're watching the record later, just type in record. So accountability is key. I invite you to take a look. Actually, I want to ask you if you can type in, are you fully accountable to fulfilling on your goals right now? And if not, really be honest with yourself and me right now. What's getting in the way? What's getting in the way of being accountable for what you wanted to do? I'd love you to type that in, and hopefully I can share something that will make a difference for you. Now, another principal I was coaching this week has got a successful business, number one in 2 of the 3 areas that he looks after. And however, we had a really, really honest conversation, and he's starting to review whether he keeps his office, not because he's not performing well. In fact, he's performing well, but he recognizes that if he was a leading agent working in another office without all the overheads of a business, he would go home with way more profit. So this is where you really need to define your end game so you can make decisions today. His end game is financial freedom for him and his young family. And I said, well, what does that look like? So we spent some time actually deconstructing what does financial freedom look like as far as how much money you're earning before tax each year, what's your lifestyle like, do you have investment properties, value of investment properties. And I've got to tell you, for a guy that was looking at what to do when we defined his end game, what's the goal that he wants to achieve in his life, and then the next step we took was we did a pros and cons assessment on him keeping his office, on him closing his office and keeping a rent roll, and then joining with a business partner without running the business, just being a leading agent. I can't remember what the third one was. I think it was just the 2. When we did a pros and cons to see which pathway would help him fulfill his goal of financial freedom faster, it was actually leaving the office. So he's now exploring whether he's going to close his office down, keep the rent roll, keep a BDM in there, growing the rent roll, and so he can go and he would make an extra $500,000 to $600,000 per annum, because it's costing him $640,000 a year to have a business. And if he closes the business because it's start having his name on the office, he walks away with $640,000 because he's the main writer. So, in fact, he's the only writer right now. Does that make sense? Could you imagine? So sometimes to make decisions, most times to make decisions, you need your end goal in mind. You need it clearly defined. And once it's clearly defined, you can establish, hey, George, great to have you here, buddy. Give me a thumbs up or an emoji or something if this is making sense for you. So begin with the end in mind, define what it is you're working towards, and then if you've got a choice to make, get a piece of paper, line down the middle, plus on the left, minus on the right, download the pros and cons, and look at which is the path to least resistance. I said to him, I also want you to work out if you did stay where you were and you kept your office and you kept spending $640,000 a year to just have the office and have that thing that goes with it, how long would it take staying in that scenario to achieve the financial freedom? And it was going to take an extra 5 years. It doesn't seem long in the scheme of things, but he could achieve that goal in 1 year. In 1 year, he could be walking away with 640K more than he is. We're in 2019 now. You know, many, many years ago, many people wanted businesses, and certainly in real estate, because they want their name on the office door or on the roof, or, you know, on the awning. And I think more people today are interested in being successful. Typically, business is about making the most amount of money in the least amount of time, and hopefully it's connected to something that you actually love to do. Yay, everyone's appeared now. Hey, Karen, Lou, good morning. Greg, great to have you here. Patty is here. Dee is here. Good morning, everyone. I can't see who's above. Joanne, good morning, my love. I responded to your email yesterday too. Keep doing what you're doing, sister. You're doing really well. So asking yourself the question is, how doing what you're doing giving you access to your end goal, or is there a better way? And if you want to explore a better way, feel free to give me a call and we can have a conversation. One of the sessions I did this week, which I haven't done in a long time, which was I was actually thrilled to do, was what's called the Land of Plenty. So one of my clients is actually really into the law of manifestation, really into intuition and intuitive intelligence, really into the power of energy and how our energy can manifest our desired results. And a long time ago, I used to do a lot of intuitive readings, and I used to have a practice with other practitioners around this. So I love doing this work, and it's all about, you know, whether it's clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience. Intuitive intelligence is simply where we go beyond our rational mind. Good morning, Ahmed. Great to have you here. We go beyond our rational mind and we tap into the voice of our heart. This is our soul. Our soul has a blueprint that it wants to fulfill for our life. So this particular client that's right into all of that stuff, I get it's not everyone's flavor, but it definitely is his. I shared with him a Native American visioning technique called the Land of Plenty. The Native Americans believe that there is a blueprint to our heart. It's like our heartscape. And our job is to really identify that what that is and live the landscape of our heart. So how did I help him get to what that is? Sadhna, good morning. Great to have you here. We took him through a visioning technique where you really just kind of go beyond your rational mind, go beyond your opinions, judgments, beliefs, and assessments, and you tap into your intuitive intelligence. You know, when they say trust your gut, gut is an acronym for give up thinking. Jackie Bailey, you're going to love this conversation. Stephanie, hey, high five, sister. Email was sent to you tonight. Can't lead training. Can't. One day it's going to be awesome. We're going to, yeah, you know what we're going to do. I won't go on to it. So we did this visioning technique, and what he ended up doing was after the meditation, after the visioning technique, he just started to write down everything that he was seeing and feeling and experiencing and witnessing when he tuned into his soul and what's important to him. Agent Aisha, g'day, great to have you here, hun. And I get a download. So I'm tuning into what can I see for him? And it's quite amazing when you get out of your rational mind, when you get out of your ego, when you tap into your heart and you listen to the voice of your soul, what reveals itself. So it may sound kooky and woo-woo to some of you, and some of you might be just completely getting this, and wherever you are is fine too. Different strokes for different folks, right? So he's downloading what he's seeing in the meditation. I'm downloading what I get, and then we share. Don't worry, Aisha, it's fine. You can watch the record, hun. You're so gorgeous. She's saying it's all just free for you when you can. Here's the irony of it. There he is. I take him through this visioning technique. He does a meditation and a download. I do a meditation and a download. We then share. He shares what he got. I share what I got, and they're exactly the same. Mine was a bit more detailed. I had like 13 themes fully typed out on a template, and he had kind of key themes. He was blown away. And when I reflected to him what I saw in his land of plenty, what I saw in the landscape of his heart, what I saw, what was here for him to fulfill as a human being on planet Earth, he was moved. And now what we do with this information is create choices. Formulate choices that you can live from. See, too many of us human beings are being human doings. We wake up every day, go, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to have the man, have the woman, have the car, have the job, have the office, have the money, have the body, have the this, have the lifestyle, so then I can be happy. That's exhausting. David, have you found? Really, we came here to be human beings. We came here to live the blueprint of our soul. Our job is to just live out loud what we love. And a lot of people don't even know what that is. If you want to know what your purpose is, what your soul is, just start asking yourself, what do you love? What would you do if you never needed to get paid another dollar in your life? And if you really want to go to town on this, buy Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. It's a workbook that has exercise in it where you can define your why. If you want a bit more of a spiritual exploration, hook me up and we'll book in your land of plenty. It's an hour and a half. It's a beautiful technique, and you walk away with a template and choices that you can live your life by. Hey, Kelly, you love that. Great. I'm glad to hear. Okay, so something interesting for more of you spiritual peeps out there. Listen, here's another one. Spoke to a principal this week who is having trouble with one of their team members. Connect, and they used to be really good friends. They actually used to go out a lot. They're a staff member, they're a PA to another principal, and it's just clunky. There's a disconnection. One's on AM, one's on FM. They're just not in harmony. It doesn't feel good, right? Anyway, this particular principal was sharing a story that her and a director were having a conversation, and this team member, this PA to the other director, was yelling across the room, and they were ignored. One didn't hear and one did hear but chose to ignore because they were in a conversation. And then she started yelling, I'm here, you know. Not really professional behavior, right? And the principal that heard chose to ignore it and leave because she didn't want to condone that behavior. And I absolutely understand and respect that. But here's the impact. Everything we do is energy. So if we ignore someone, that's ignorance, that's energy. And sometimes we ignore people because we don't have the courage to go and confront the behavior that's ineffective, unprofessional, or unproductive. And we are scared to have those straight conversations, which this principal was. However, I helped her understand that she is then responsible for leaving a team member feeling ignored and unappreciated, which just perpetuates the disconnection. Leaders, if you're watching this, and I know many of you are, and not just leaders, everyone that's in relationship, that are parents, that are working with colleagues, you've got to get curious in the behavior of another. You want to ask yourself as leaders particularly, how are you responsible for their behavior? And then you want to actually seek to understand what's getting in the way of them demonstrating the values or operating in a way that's appropriate. And how can you do that that's not intimidating where others get defensive, which is why we ignore it. You walk towards them and you can say, hey, Fred, you know, I know you were and I was ignoring you. I'm sorry I was ignoring you. I'm not committed to that, but I'm curious. Obviously, you want to be heard. So help me understand why you were yelling that across the room. Seek to understand before you pass judgment is critical. I knew you'd love this one, Sadhana. Oh, this has just gone really dark all of a sudden. Oh, it's saving power. See, what happens is people are going to do things all the time, and we human beings are meaning-making machines. We'll make it mean stuff. And the meaning that we add, which is what this principal was doing, she was adding a lot of meaning to everything. It creates a viewfinder or a filter or a veil that we see through, but it's not the truth. Courageous leaders, courageous people, courageous souls are not afraid to lean into the discomfort of uncertainty. They're not afraid to walk towards someone who is operating in a way that doesn't work and be curious. And a great way to have that conversation is, help me understand how you leader, or you've seen yourself today. I know that not to be you. What's going on for you? Get curious, because the standard you walk past is the standard you accept. And if you walk past poor performance, you absolutely condone it. And I see this every week with leaders particularly, only because they don't have the skills and the competency to navigate tricky conversations yet. But that's what I'm here to help with. Okay, another one I want to share with you is, I know many of you, like many of my clients, have decisions to make. You've got options and choices, and therefore you may need to make decisions. One client in particular has been spinning for a number of years, wanting more for themselves, but kind of spinning on the spot. And the reason they're spinning on the spot is because they're not making decisions. And they're not making decisions because they're not clear about what they want, and they're not confident in the quality of their decision making because they're scared they're going to make the wrong decision. Has anyone felt like that? Have you ever felt like you made the wrong decision, right? Yes or no, you know where you're at. So here's the thing. Again, that pros and cons sheet is such a simple, basic process to get clarity. Get a piece of paper, line down the middle, positives and negatives of the decision you need to make. And if you've got two choices, compare the two. Get it out of your head, get it onto paper, compare the two. It'll give you great clarity. And at the end of the day, as Richard Branson says, jump and the net will appear. Make a decision. And when you make a decision, the next step will become available. Martin Luther King said, you don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. And my friends, this is what I see as a big handbrake for a lot of you in trying to achieve your success. You know what to do, or you don't know what to do, and you're too scared to make the decision you need to make, or you're too scared you're going to act and stuff it up and make the wrong decision. Do a pros and cons, act with the best level of business, then step into this new realm, and then you'll figure out the next step. We expect success to be a straight line from A to Z. That's a boring existence. Success is a hot mess. It's like a ball of wool that a bloody kitten played with for 3 hours. It's a hot mess, but that's part of the journey and the success. So please, where are you not being accountable, or leaders, where are you not holding your people accountable, and what's the cost of that? If you're finding it hard to make decisions, define your end game, do the pros and cons, and see which is the path of least resistance, and don't be afraid to fail. Just fail forward and fail fast, and failure is only if you fail to learn the lesson. If you're wanting to know what the landscape of your soul is, the heartscape of your purpose, hook me up and we can book you in for a Land of Plenty visioning technique. It's just absolutely exquisite. I'm rapt to be doing work with people again. Listen, people, get curious and seek to understand what is driving a behavior before you pass judgment, and make decisions, friends. Don't let fear sabotage your future being fulfilled. Trust that you take the steps based on your best beliefs at the time. You do a little bit of risk assessment, but just bloody go for it, because life is waiting for you to live it. And time is ticking. This is, as they say, not a dress rehearsal. I've got a girlfriend that's in hospital right now about to have a brain tumor removed. We don't know what the outcome is going to be, but we take life for granted. I truly believe we take life for granted. What are you waiting for? Your dreams and desires are on the other side of a courageous act. Take an action today. G'day, Annie. Great to have you here. So I hope you found that useful. Please drop me a line, let me know, shoot me a thumbs up or an emoji. And I really look forward to your company. time on Monday for Mindset Mastery Monday. Steph, I'm actually going to have to do it at our event, I think, because we kick off your sales training at 9 o'clock. But that's cool. We can be set up and rocking, or I might have to change the date. I'll let you know. I hope you got some tips for that. Hope you have an amazing week. For those in real estate, show day tomorrow. Remember, in the words of the late, great Maya Angelou, people will forget what you said. They'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Do something today, take an action, be bold, be brave, be courageous to make yourself feel good, and remember to show value and appreciation for those you spend time with today. Kelly, have a great day too. Yourself, my love. See you 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time Monday for Mindset Mastery Monday. And of course, if you're stuck with something, if you're oscillating, if you need to make a decision, you want just a different perspective, hook me up and ask me a question and I'll answer it on Mindset Mastery Monday. I won't mention your name or the brand that you're but it will tell you. Take friends, have a beautiful Friday and love the ones you're with. We'll speak soon. Ciao to you on Facebook.